Gun sales are skyrocketing as Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, the FBI, and pretty much everyone else in charge of America says two things. Number one, they can't or won't protect Americans from Muslim terrorists. But number two, they want to take away the most effective tool for law-abiding Americans to protect themselves, guns. When the government fails and all hell breaks loose, who would you rely on to protect you and your family and your property? Here's some pictures from Los Angeles and the race riots in 1992 after the Rodney King incident, when African Americans rioted and for some reason picked on Korean American shopkeepers. The riots were incredible. 55 people dead, thousands injured, 11,000 people arrested. It was an urban war zone, and the violence raged for 5 full days. Total collapse of authority and the rule of law. Who's going to protect those Korean shopkeepers? Not the cops, not liberal newspaper columnists, no one but themselves. And the Second Amendment, that part of the U.S. Constitution that lets citizens own guns. Law-abiding people protecting their lives and property when the government failed. So pretty much like what happened in Orlando last weekend, except that gay nightclub was a gun-free zone, so they were easy pickings. To state the obvious, that Muslim terrorist in Orlando, he just kept shooting. 49 dead, 53 injured. He just kept shooting. Until what do you think stopped him? Was he talked out of it by some social justice warrior? No. Until he himself was shot dead by another gun, shot by a cop hours later. And now the left comes to ban guns? In a way, Barack Obama is the best gun salesman in the world. Here's a chart from the liberal anti-gun New York Times showing the massive growth in gun sales under Obama. Every time America and the world looks more dangerous, which it does every year under Obama, he courageously makes excuses for the real bad guys, but goes after good guys. No wonder people are stocking up. But back to those liberal newspaper columnists. They've been going on a gun buying spree too. Oh, sure, they say it's ironic, like a hipster wearing one of those free mustache rides t-shirts or something. Here's the liberals at CBS. It took 38 minutes and $1,030 for our CBS news producer to buy an AR-15 and walk out legally armed in Virginia. Wow. And here's a very tired-looking liberal, but sort of macho in a good way, don't you think? From the Philadelphia Daily News, who bought an AR-15 for $760, obviously smarter than the CBS reporters. Now, the Toronto Star is obviously on a budget, and they'd be foreign citizens, so instead of doing the same stunt, they just ran the Philadelphia story up here. But seriously, I bet 100 liberals bought guns ironically, 100 liberal journalists, thousands of liberals, buying guns ironically this past week to show how much they don't want guns. Yeah, right. Look, here's the New York Daily News with their story, What is it like to fire an AR-15? It's horrifying, menacing, and very, very loud. Yeah, look at this guy. He compared it to a cannon, to a bazooka. He said that. He said he was horrified. He actually had the gall to say he had post-traumatic stress disorder, as if he went through hell like a real soldier. Yeah, no. Here's a 7-year-old girl shooting an AR-15. Yeah, that's a 7-year-old girl. I think that New York liberal, Woody Allen, neurotic type guy, he should save his drama for his weekly therapist. It's embarrassing to the rest of us. He shouldn't write those things in the Daily News. What's my point? Well, I actually have never met a liberal who didn't enjoy shooting a gun for the first time. It's fun to watch, especially dainty city men who have done nothing more masculine or physical or useful in their lives than changing a light bulb, who don't know the difference between a Phillips head screwdriver and a Robertson screwdriver. Yeah, shooting a gun is scary, like using a lawnmower is scary. I say again, that tired, sleep-deprived, unhappy, resting face liberal reporter, she sort of looks hot in that picture in a way. I bet it's the most control she's had in her own life in a long time, holding that AR-15. Look at this. I've never seen women look more empowered than women in the Israeli military sporting firearms. Confident, in control, able to look after themselves, ready to protect others too. And do you think they would put up with sexual harassment for even a second? Yeah, I say again, in real life, the reaction by liberal men to firing a gun is the rediscovery of what it's like to be masculine again. And the reaction by liberal women to firing a gun for the first time is the rediscovery of what it's like to feel safe again and in control. So I'm all for this wave of liberals buying guns ironically. Whatever you say, guys. Oh, but by the way, they're all liars, these newspaper writers, every one of them buying AR-15 guns. They're lying to you. That was not the gun used by the Orlando terrorist. He used a gun called a Sig Sauer and another gun called a Glock. But don't confuse liberal entertainment with actual reporting, okay? That's a pro tip. But let me close with my real point today. These liberals who are secretly thrilled at feeling masculine again or safe again, they're all talking about how easy it is to buy a gun from a gun store, just 10 minutes to check that they don't have a criminal record and they're good to go. They're shocked by this. Well, yeah, it takes 10 minutes because they're not criminals. That's the point. If they're citizens without a criminal record, they have the right to buy a firearm. We have that right too in Canada, by the way. A quarter of Canadian homes have guns in them. If you don't know that, you just might be a downtown liberal who doesn't know a Phillips screwdriver from a Robertson. Now, these liberal newspapers should send a convicted criminal to try to buy guns through a gun shop and watch how they're declined. And then they should send that same convicted criminal to buy an illegal gun on the street. I bet that deal would take less than 10 minutes too. And maybe these liberal journalists can then explain how another useless gun law targeting law-abiding owners would stop any of that or would have saved 49 dead in Orlando. For the Rebel.media, I'm Ezra Levant. Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.